Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy Christmas and happy Easter. And we are now joined by the tailor.
Hi.
Don't know where the Mr. Wayne's gone at the moment, but
this is a weird layout. This is different, isn't it?
What's different?
Normally it says like seeing reviews and stuff. Oh wait, that sounds really harsh. I mean, normally it shows the views. That was funny. There it is. 0 views.
Dear, oh dear. So yes, tonight we're going to finish off the letter C. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube,
it means big, fat.
It'll be soon be the summer holidays. Yes, it means big, fat country. Letter C. And tonight we're going to do Colombia and Cambodia. Is it Cambodia?
Yeah.
Cambodia. What Mr. Wayne's supposed to be doing Cambodia, but I have no idea where he is. I've sent him the link, so he should be joining it. I am sorry, I just boot my grandson on the other one. So yes.
That's not that. That was his booty.
Why do we keep getting blurred?
Could you possibly move up?
I can't really get any closer without breaking the presents. Hang on.
That's a commitment. To make. Thank you. A sacrifice.
So yes. What the hell was I talking about? Do you know what?
Colombia.
Why does this camera look at it? The camera keeps going blurred, isn't it? What, do you know what? Just I'm going. No, we're back. Right, let's just come out of that a minute. Right. Okay.
Yay. Everything's fixed.
So let me send.
You don't need to. It didn't disconnect. There he is.
Oh, there he is. Yes. Hello. Right.
Hello.
There you go. Let's put you like that. Right.
Evening all.
Hey. Hey, Craig. Yes, that was interesting. We was right in the middle of talking, and then Taylor went, "Oh, don't you know I'm going to switch Christmas tree lights off and switch the Wi-Fi off instead."
Oh,
Yes.
Sorry.
What I was going to say is we're going to tonight. We finished it as sponsored by Greg's. I wish. And tonight we're going to finish the C's off, and then next week we'll do a Christmas quiz. But I'm going to do a risque Christmas quiz. Sheldon will be here as well. The person that got her in this trouble as it is. So I'm going to try and get them in different rooms.
Hi, Sheldon.
Hi, Sheldon. Try and get them all in different rooms, and then I'll do the quiz master, and should be quite good fun. And your missus can join in as well.
You and Mrs. Wayne, yeah.
Mrs. Wayne.
You're Wayne, so that's got to be Bruce.
Mrs. Wayne, you're allowed to join in next week as well.
We'll see. I've got to have an early night, haven't I? I'm going to London on the Saturday.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Mrs. Wayne is going to see Boy George next week.
Oh.
Somebody's got to.
Well, that's not Ellen's fault. Ellen's mum wants to go and see him, and she doesn't want to go on her own. So, fair enough, Ellen's.
No,
Ellen's,
you're not going to go and watch Boy George. Oh.
I said your mum wants to go, but she doesn't want to go on her own. So you're filling the gap. Lynn said she'll go.
She was going to go with her friend, but her partner surprised her with some tickets anyway.
Yeah. Her mum's friend was going to go with her other friend, but her friend's partner surprised her with some tickets to go anyway. So
I'd love to go to an 80s night where you got loads and loads of 80s bands on, and I'd be like, yes. But to be honest, as soon as Boy George came on, I'd go to the bar. I've never liked it.
What you do is come with me to see Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds in 2022 down at the O2.
I'm up for that anyway. I'm up for that anyway. So yeah, definitely.
I'll see if I can get us backstage passes again like I did last time.
I'll hold you to that. Yeah, I'll come with you to watch that. So next week, Christmas quiz, and it's the Dark Mirror show. I'm not going to do normal questions. I will find
maybe we
may have a Christmas bundle here next week, possibly. But I will find risque questions. By the way, something I've heard of, never experienced it myself. Guess who's got sympathy pains for their daughter?
Oh dear.
Me. Wondered why I woke up with my lower half of my stomach killing me, and it's just the muscles. And I'm thinking, well, it must have been all long distance driving I was doing, the seatbelt pulling against it, or the dog's been doing the river dance on my stomach muscles whilst I've been asleep, or Lindsay's kicked me in the bollocks when she's gone past me and go to the toilet. No. It's sympathy pains for Taylor.
I knows how it feels.
Don't you high five you?
But then saying that in the previous sentence, you said it was Sheldon's fault for getting in that state anyway.
Apparently,
so if anything, Sheldon should have the sympathy pains, not you.
Yeah. He's been having what was it? He had like a really bad headache and nausea.
Has his hormones been playing up?
But the thing is, he wants to drink it. He's like, oh, I'm feeling a bit poorly today, and I'm like, oh, have you got a cold or something? He's like, no, I'm fine.
Oh, he's nipple sensitive.
He's been having contractions as well.
He's sat on the bathroom floor like,
and breathe.
I kept saying to everybody, my stomach muscle, and it is the muscles, it's not above or below. I'm like, my lower stomach muscles are killing me. It feels just like I've done one of my kickboxing workouts. And when you overdo your muscles, about 2 days later, your muscles go, fuck you! Yeah. That in my lower stomach muscles. And then they both went, hang on a minute. For those of you who are not here yet, and for those of you on YouTube, would you like to see this week's latest edition of the Christmas Tum? The Christmas Food Tum. Does Ellen want to see it?
Ellen, quick Christmas Tum. She's waiting from a distance.
This one's got its own doorbell as well. There, you press that, and it goes
ding dong.
Yeah, paint it as a Christmas pudding. Yes.
Oh, I've got to make sure I've got me cup the right way.
Sponsored by Greg's and I don't know who else.
A ring.
Yeah, sponsored by a ring.
Sponsored by a ring.
Today we will do the seas. You can do what's it you want to do? Cambodia, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you do Cambodia. They've got a lot of nasty stuff over there, especially ever since Pol Pot, isn't it, as well?
Well, yeah, it's not just because of it's not just because of that. It's also partly because of belief and superstition and religion. So it's not just the Vietnam and the Khmer Rouge Pol Pot business. It also goes back a lot further than that. But it seems to be that at the moment it has sort of increased a bit since that time.
Before we do that, do you want to hear something funny? Now, remember, I'm half Irish, right?
Right.
Half Irish, quarter Scottish, quarter Australian. I saw an advert for Guinness Clear, right, on the TV. Linz was laughing her head off at me for about 10 minutes because I was sat there and every single Irish fibre of my being was going, Jesus, what the fucking hell is that on it? How fucking dare you? All my fucking ancestors do, you know. And I'm there going, my father'd be spinning so fast in his grave, they'd be using him as a fan, you know. And I've had to look it up, and it's taken me about 10 minutes looking it up, see what this thing is. And I'm fucking travesty. Whoa, how fucking dead. And then it turns out it's their drink drive campaign. They were pouring water out on tap. I could just hear my dad now, like.
So everybody else was laughing at you because you were reacting to something and thinking it was literally a clear pint of Guinness, and it wasn't.
Every single bit of Irish in me was going. So anyway, on with the seas.
Okay, who's starting?
Let me do one because I want to do the first one on Colombia.
Right. All right then, I'll let you.
Now, did you watch this video with me? I can't remember.
No, I didn't. I sent it to you though.
Right, it's about Pablo Escobar. You remember the notorious drug lord?
Lovely, good old Pablo.
His mansion was torn down. I think it was last year or the year before, and it was torn down because they're going to put like a municipal thing there for families to go to and children to play in, and this, that, and the other, so that his memory of on the terrible things that he did is wiped, you know. But there was somebody, as it was being demolished because it was explosions, you know, was filming it, and at the top of it, there's like a bit with massive curtains, you know, floor-length curtains, and they're white. And when you first watch your video, it looks like these curtains are just being blown in the wind gently. And I had to watch it several times, but if you look really carefully, I think it's like a little kitchen or something. There's a window next to where these big bay doors are, the curtains in. And if you watch, you can see some shadow come across where there's this room and then go to where the curtains are and then move the curtains like that. And then just as the curtains start to come down again, all the exposures come off and the building goes like that. Now, I've put it out on several forums that I go on. And lots of people have said, oh, it must have been a dozy demolitions guy who got stuck up there and this, that, and the other. And it's not. When you look at it, you can see it's not. There's no person there. There's nothing physical there, and there's no wind blowing because the curtains don't start going until the things come across past the window and then got to the bit where the curtains are. And people over there reckon it's Pablo Escobar's ghost. I don't know.
Was the video posted by a paranormal?
No,
person?
It was just somebody who lived there, was filming it and went, "Oh, what the hell's that?" And then they put it up. And
there's been no links where a paranormal person has picked it up and tried to enhance the light on it or anything to see.
No, it was on hit the news. It did hit the national news and stuff, and it was like, "Oh, what is this?" But it is quite brief. But if you look it up online, you'll see it, and you'll see what I mean. When you first see it, it looks like something's just blown the curtains. It looked like a wind had caught the curtains. But when you look again, and look at the window to the left of it, you'll see something come across, and then go to where the curtains are. And it was, if I hadn't seen that bit, I would have just immediately dismissed it as wind from being sent up from the charges on the base of the building going up, you know?
Yeah.
But it wasn't. And I'm not going to say it was, but it was intriguing.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, by looking at the video, then it was just that a figure has walked across. But like you say, it's then open to speculation as to who it was. Was it a dozy workman? Was it Pablo Escobar?
It wasn't a solid figure. Whatever it was transparent. It wasn't a solid figure.
A bit like the so-called video of Princess Diana popping up behind William and Kate after they got married at Buckingham. You know, when they were at Buckingham Palace on the balcony.
There's also Michael Jackson's ghost that's supposed to have appeared in the building, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it will pop up every now and then. Someone will pop up something. It's just a case of down to whether anybody can freeze frame it and see if they can sort of enhance it or lighten it up. You know, because you can determine whether that shadow was superimposed in there via Photoshop or whatever by checking the distances between the shadow to see whether it's inside the building or been added to it.
When you looked in the comments of it, a couple of people had looked at it, and a couple of people did say we've taken it apart and it doesn't appear to be altered, and it does appear to be genuine. But as I say, it's not. I mean, it was a 25 billion. Was it billion? 25 billion or million? 25 million billion. Jesus, he made a 25 billion in his career. Fucking hell. And supplied 80% of the world's cocaine, no less.
Tell you what I need to start doing.
But
seems to be the trait of being.
I think the mansion was something like 12 million. And over there in Colombia, that's a hell of a lot of money, you know. But when you look at it, like I say, it's one of those videos that makes you go, oh, it's just, and then when you see that bit, you go, oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Don't know. Have a look at it. Look it up later after the show and have a look at it and let me know what you think. And anybody else who's watching this, isn't watching this, is on YouTube, has gone, Jesus, I'm drunk. What the hell am I looking at? You know, whatever. Send it, write in the comments, whatever. Just let us know.
Just put in Pablo Escobar's ghost.
Yes, for those of you who aren't watching, shame on you. Anyway, you carry on.
I've got to carry on now. Oh, right, okay. Anyway, Cambodia. Obviously, the region of Cambodia has got a very, very strong Buddhist belief system.
That's Asia, isn't
it? So, yeah, the Buddhist beliefs run strong through that country. And it's not just because of the violent deaths, it's the way the religion is based. That if
I thought you said Buddhist police. I had visions of loads of Buddhist police going around clocking people on the head saying, I really don't want to do this. I'm so sorry. Hurts me more than it hurts you.
Well, they believe in love, not war, don't they? So
they arrest you and do things with the handcuffs.
Yeah, they beat you with a flower. But obviously, the Buddhist belief is that if you've suffered a violent death or you have led a sinful life, then you will not be allowed to pass over. So the belief there is that
Passovers now, isn't it? It's Jewish Christmas.
Basically, it's reincarnation, and you have to relive your life again, or you know, if you led a good life, whatever, you move over. But the problem is that the apparent increase in that superstition and that has been brought higher because of the Khmer Rouge regime.
Killing fields, yeah.
So they now claim that there are many souls, lost souls, that are now wandering the country simply because of the superstition and belief that sorcery can also prove deadly. According to this, apparently in 2014, a man was hacked to death by his neighbours who thought he was practicing black magic.
Bloody hell.
So even things like that were frowned upon. The same year, 3 people had allegedly murdered a woman accused of the same thing. That was sorcery. But when I've looked into this in Cambodia, there are 5 places that I found quite interesting, and these all relate to the Khmer Rouge.
Well, he used to kill people, didn't he, just for looking at him in the wrong way?
Nasty, nasty regime. Very nasty regime. If anybody gets the chance, if you haven't seen it already, prime example is the Killing Fields, the film.
That's right, yeah.
Francis
Ford Coppola, was it?
I think so, and its soundtrack was Mike Oldfield from Tubular Bells.
Right, yeah.
Beautiful album, but to actually witness what happened over there, that is the perfect film to watch. You don't watch films where, like The Deer Hunter or Apocalypse Now or anything like that, because that's seen through the American soldier's eyes. The actual real Killing Fields, best film to watch for that is The Killing Fields. Simple because you see what happens to those people that were caught in that regime.
Didn't he used to march them into fields of landmines and get them to race to the other side? And if you survived, you could go free.
No, he didn't never let anybody survive. That's just
they all got blown up, and if anybody made it to the other end, they'd shoot them anyway.
You've been watching Rambo.
Yeah.
That's called the Minefield Olympics.
Yeah.
Just skip through it. You'll be all right.
Something happened there.
But I found one which has appeared to be top of the list is the Tao Sleng Genocide Museum. Now, this was based in a former high school in Phnom Penh. And basically, during its time, the school was transformed into a political prisoners camp, and it was known as Security Prison 21. There were 20,000 people kept in this prison, and only 7 escaped alive.
Bloody hell!
All of the rest of them were either were tortured and killed or sent to their death at Chong Ek. But much of the site has been left as it was discovered in 1979 when the Vietnamese army liberated Phnom Penh. The blood-spattered walls, tiny brick cells and abandoned torture tools are still there and offer a sobering sight into the brutal regime. Twice a year, museum staff invite monks in to hold a ceremony at the museum for the spirits of the victims. And the claim is that there are a number of the deceased roam around inside the museum.
Haven't they got bits of skeletons in there as well?
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's like some of the basically what they've done is very similar to what they did when they found the Nazi concentration camps. You know, it's piles of skulls and clothes and shoes and different bits and bobs. Obviously, they robbed them of their jewelry and they divided it between themselves. But it was how they went about doing it. They weren't bothered. If you didn't go with their belief system, you weren't wanted. You weren't part of life. And so they did something about it. Wasn't really. Hi, Jacqueline.
Sorry, just 1 second. Hi.
You know, and obviously, when you go by the Buddhist belief that if you've suffered a violent death, which most of these people would have been, there would be thousands of spirits roaming around Cambodia.
Oh, God, yeah.
If you go by the Buddhist belief system, just a little bit. So obviously, between 75 and 79, Pol Pot led the Khmer Rouge to take over Cambodia. And an estimated 2 million people killed or dying from starvation and exhaustion. Almost 9,000 bodies were discovered at mass graves in Chong Ek, more commonly known as the Common Fields. And that's about 30 kilometers from Phnom Penh. It now serves as a memorial. The chilling site features a Buddhist stupa filled with human skulls retrieved from the fields. Visitors can walk around the exhumed graves and learn more through the headset on the guided tour. To me, personally, I wouldn't want to go and investigate somewhere like that.
No, you don't know what you'd be letting in.
Investigator, I would stay well away from anywhere like that. People have asked me, would you go to Auschwitz? Yes, I would go to Auschwitz, but to pay respect.
Yeah,
I would do investigation.
I would not go to Auschwitz to do an investigation. There is no way I would do it.
anything that's happened in recent memory, and if it's been an atrocity like that, if you're going to go there and do a paranormal investigation, A, you don't know what's going to come back and bite you in the bum, and B, that is just so disrespectful.
Yeah, it's like a lot of things. It's like doing investigations in graveyards. I wouldn't particularly want to do an investigation in a graveyard. As far as I'm concerned, they may be haunted, but their bodies have been put there to rest. So let them rest.
Well, as Jackie just said,
that's exactly what I think.
Spot on. I wouldn't investigate a place like that. It's too horrific. And it is just completely disrespectful.
I mean, being a World War II buff, I study a lot about different aspects of the war, not just from the Allies side of things, but also from Hitler's side of things and the German side of things. You know, a lot of the German civilians were punished as well. A lot of German civilians were innocent. They weren't all Nazis. And I personally think to go to somewhere like Auschwitz, although it holds partly a passion to me because of the Second World War, I would want to go there as a sign of respect, but I certainly would not go around there with my K2 meter.
No.
Start going, oh, if there's anybody here, can you flash this light?
No.
Or would I do what those other idiots did and stand there at the gates where they had the all bite free, working sets you free thing across the gate, and stand there and jump up in the air and give a big wave and a smile at the same time? That's not the sort of place to do that sort of thing.
No.
So, you know, as a visitor to pay respect, I would probably go there, but not to do investigations.
No. Any paranormal investigator worth their salt would not go to anywhere like that and do an investigation. And if they do, they are not worth their salt.
Can I just chime in quickly? Back to what you said about investigating in a graveyard. I find that highly disrespectful because I see a graveyard as a place of rest and peace. Where you don't want
that's what I said. You know, when a body is put into the ground, you know, obviously they've passed away. The family have been there and they've paid their respects and whatnot. And family members probably still visit the graves, put flowers down. That's their place of rest.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't mind going to places like, for me locally, Harrods Redoubt Fort. There's no graves. There's no graves there. But we know people did die there. So you don't mind going to places like that and investigating the area because you know there's no graves there, nobody's died, you know, and
I've been there. I like it
there. And so I love the place. I've been there like 17 times, and every time I've been there, something's happened. You know, it's amazing. But to go to a cemetery where people are supposed to be laid at rest, that's what they're there to do. They're there to be at rest. Leave them at peace and don't go in there with your K2 meters and cat balls and stuff and go, oh, is there anybody there? Because it's just downright wrong, you know. But yeah, then I found an interesting one. It's in Cambodia, oddly enough, and it's a weird place. It's called Bokor Hill Station. And it's 42 miles from Kampot town to Bokor's Peak, apparently on a mountain.
Is it Kampot town?
Kampot.
So you're not going to break into a rendition of the Kampot racers sing that song, Buddha.
Oh God, that's Camp Town.
Oh yes, so it is.
I've seen Blazing Saddles as well. Anyway, I think you've had enough beans.
When the lights go off and she says a rather dodgy comment, is it true what they say about you guys? Oh, it's true, it's true. Next morning she's cooking sausages. Another Vienna Schnitzel?
No, I'm sorry, with Blazing Saddles, the baked beans scene is the best for me.
When he comes out and goes, God damn, think you boys bad enough.
Want more beans? No, I think you've had enough already. Anyway, apparently it's a biker's dream. So if you ever go to Cambodia, taking a ride up to Bokor's Peak is apparently wonderful experience on a bike. And it's only accessible to motorbikes and cars. but it's home to the pop-up. Christ, I can't say it properly.
Get it out, boy.
Popokville waterfall, a giant Buddhist statue, abandoned Bokor Hill station, a giant casino, and a derelict church, and unparalleled views. It has an eerie past. It was commissioned by the French, and it was built under harsh conditions with almost 1,000 Cambodians dying while they were building it. It was completed in 1925 and became a top resort for the colonial elite. By the 1940s, the French had abandoned the resort. In the 1950s and 60s, it became popular with wealthy Khmers. It was abandoned again during the Khmer Rouge and was left to crumble recently. While visitors used to enjoy exploring the Cumberland Shell, it reopened earlier this year as Le Bokor Palace, which, when you look at it, hang on, let's see if I can get this right this time.
Oh, I wouldn't mind investigating there.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a go there.
See,
now there it'd be all right to get your K2s out and get your torches out and scare the crap out of the other investigators with you. Whoa, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, and so of course that's pretty cool. And I misjudged that because the actual really weird one that I found is actually this one. It's called the Ghost House. And apparently it has featured in a film called The Haunted House.
Okay.
I wonder how many films have actually been called The Haunted House. Kampong Cham's infamous ghost house on National Road 5 has a chilling backstory, which put it at the centre of a Khmer horror film detailing the haunted house's history. According to local legend, a young couple moved into the newly built house. A ghost came to them in a dream and offered to buy the house for $3,000 worth of gold. They agreed, and in the morning found the gold outside their front door. But despite warnings from the ghost, the couple refused to move out and unfortunately woke up one day in a nearby field with all of their belongings around them. It has remained empty ever since, and mysteriously without any dust inside, as if someone is still cleaning the property. Superstitious Cambodians will pray when they pass the house or leave offerings at the entrance. And then in 2005, The Haunted House was released in cinemas, shot in that location. The cast and crew held Buddhist prayers before filming every day to ask if any spirits could leave the house while they were there.
Can I just pause you there 1 second?
I think that's really cool.
For anybody who is watching this, wherever and whenever you're watching this, and my missus, would you like a spirit that dusts your place and cleans it? Yeah, that sounds pretty decent.
In fairness, he did say, if I give you money, can I buy the house off you? And they were like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, they agreed.
And stayed there. So...
Well, they got everything that was coming to them.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's just...
Yeah, well, they didn't leave and they didn't pay rent, so we kicked them out.
Yeah.
Classic eviction, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Best bailiff ever.
Yeah. And then we got
You can do a new film. You could do the sequel, The Evictionist.
The Evictionist, yeah. Starring Edouard Woowa.
The power of rent compels you. Yes.
And then we got the Independence Hotel. So it seems to me that in Cambodia, they tend to take a lot of things from Western ideas. The Independence Hotel.
Why is it every time we do a show, one of these bloody dog farts, and I'm surprised you can't see green gas floating around behind me. And this is the pug. This is a pug.
You know what it is?
I'm wearing a polo shirt. God.
You know what it is, don't you?
Well,
since the First World War, they experimented with a thing called brown noise. Right, where the tone of the noise is so low that it vibrates the insides of the body. And in some cases has been known to make them poop themselves. So I'm wondering if my voice has started your dog breaking wind.
Every show, one of them drops their guts and it's like,
Exactly, every show. So could it be my voice creating brown noise with the dogs?
Well, I think the next time I think for our last show of the year, next week, I think I'm going to get a cross and some holy water.
Or just lock
And a
them out the room.
cork. A holy Roman cork.
Or lock them out the room so they can't hear my voice. Anyway, the Independence Hotel apparently in Sihanoukville is haunted. It was built in 1964 and it quickly became popular with the rich and famous. However, it shut its doors in the mid-70s and became a base for the Khmer Rouge soldiers. According to unproven myths, so it's not been, there's no facts to it proved yet. The swimming pool was used to hold prisoners, with mass executions taking place at the hotel. It was left to fall into dilapidation, reopened in 1982, and going on to be a hangout for UNTAC troops during the early 90s. It was closed in 1999, underwent a radical revamp, and started welcoming guests in 2007. But many have reported sightings of ghosts during their stay. And today it stands as an upmarket independent hotel. But there are still reports that people are still seeing ghosts and it's still freaking everybody out. So,
well, I think anywhere over there, anywhere there's been atrocities, you're going to get ghosts.
Yeah, and I think as well, it's fueled by Buddhist belief. You know, I think you've got the Buddhist belief system is already in place and has been in place since Buddhism's been around. That if you die a violent death or you have been a naughty boy during your life, then you are punished by Buddha and you are sent back to relive that life until you have led a wholesome life, a proper innocent life, etc. And then you can pass on. So straight away, that belief system's put in place and makes people believe, well, that person died. He was in a tree and someone chopped the tree down. He died a violent death, so he should haunt the place. So straight away, that superstition kicks back in. And then all of a sudden, next minute, you know, you have got a ghost walking around and it's been created because of the belief system.
Yeah.
You know, it's, I mean, you look at, what's his face? Oh, crumbs. The football manager.
Hey.
He dropped himself in the poo, didn't he, by saying disabled people are being punished from.
Oh, no, that idiot. Oh,
yeah.
I can see him, and I personally want to have a little chat with that guy. Seriously, I know exactly who you mean.
Glenn Hoddle.
No,
is it Glenn Hoddle?
No. You're right.
Right, sorry, Glenn. That weren't you. Yeah, I'm sorry.
What's his name?
It might have been Glenn Hoddle, actually.
No, I know who you mean. He's a football pundit. And then he went weird, and then he turned around and said that all disabled people are disabled because
no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't a football pundit. He was the England manager.
Yeah, and then he became pundit. I could see him in my head.
Wait 1 second.
I'm sure it was Glenn Hoddle. It's going to get me looking for it now.
Because what?
He said that disabled people are disabled because they were bad in a former life. He's an idiot, but he speaks out a lot about aliens.
It says Hoddle.
No, it's not. There's I can see the guy in my head. I'll find it.
It's literally Glenn Hoddle.
Yeah, it is.
Claims that people born with disabilities are being punished for the sins of a former life.
Well, then the man's an idiot.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Because there's another guy, there's another football guy who now does stuff predominantly about David Icke. Thank you, Terry. David Icke, because he said it as well. So they must have copied each other. Yeah.
Glenn Hoddle got a lot of stick. Glenn Hoddle got a lot of stick for saying that disabled people are being punished because of their previous life.
What the hell was I? Serial masturbator? You mean still am, cheeky bitch.
But again, that's because that's what the Buddhist belief says. You know, and so of course down that area, like we said with the high school, 20,000 people were held prisoner in there, and only 7 people came out alive. So you're looking at 19,993 people met an untimely, violent death.
So they're going to be slightly annoyed.
That's going to be 19,993 ghosts walking around there, because they all died under violent circumstances. They died before their time was up. Really, their life was ended by somebody else and somebody else's belief system. So there's that many ghosts wandering around just in that area. Yeah. Unless Buddha gave them, a pass and said, it weren't your fault. You died a violent death, regardless of what you did during your life, and allowed them to pass over. Who knows? But technically, the Buddhist belief system would be that they would have had to relive their life and live it again.
Well, moving swiftly on, but let's have a little bit of humour in here. Let's do a Colombia one. Do you want to? No.
Colombia.
Right. Here's another one of their
radio shows sponsored by Greg's.
And not by Coca-Cola.
What did you have?
Oh, we had the festive bake.
Oh, you get.
And it was rather nice.
We have denied on whether to have a festive bake today, but we were very quick in town and we popped by a Cornish pasty shop, and they were doing a festive Cornish pasty, and it more expensive than Greg's, but oh my God, that was nice. And it was massive. About 2 or 3 times the size of a Greg's. But it was really nice.
Well, before we do any more Cambodia, I'm going to do a couple of small Colombia.
So I'm finished with Cambodia now, then 5 places.
Oh, okay. All right then.
Because we're 40 minutes. We're 40 minutes in already. It's 40 minutes in.
Well, yeah, it's a quarter of an hour left.
Exactly. So better get talking.
Do you know what? Funny enough, I will try to do that. Shush. Right.
Okay.
Latunda. Latunda. Not as in how big is it, Tunda, but Latunda. Now this is from Colombia. Right. This is the one I was trying to say to you about last week. So, from the Afro-Caribbean culture comes the legend of Latunda. In the jungles lives this wretched and ugly woman said to be recognized by one wooden leg. I wonder if it's a relative of mine. A molinillo, a common utensil in Colombia. A wooden leg is made out of a kitchen utensil.
That's sick.
Her danger lies in her ability to shapeshift and appear as someone you know, often your mother or a loved one, so that she can lure you into the jungle. Once in her clutches, she feeds you shrimp that she has farted on. Yep. Latunda feeds you shrimp that she has farted on.
Do you want shrimp?
And the shrimp that she has farted on hypnotizes them into a stupor so she can do what she wants with them, which is either suck the blood vampire style or devour you like a wild animal. So if anybody in Colombia ever offers you an old woman with a wooden leg offers you a potted shrimp in Colombia, just say no.
I don't know. You want a potted shrimp? Have you farted on it? No. Okay.
No lemon pledge.
You no fart on that, senor.
No. But I mean, of all the things, that's why I was laughing last week, because I read that and I'm like, really? Yeah, she farts on the shrimp before she gives them to you, because that is what's going to knock you into a stupor. That's what the dogs have been doing. I've read my notes.
So somebody that looks like your mother or your lover lures you away from whatever you're doing into a jungle, farts on the shrimps, and then offers it to you. Who the hell's going to take him up on that offer?
And it has a metal leg made out of a kitchen utensil.
And that metal leg's got to be really, really matchstick thin. A kitchen utensil.
Mine looks like leg.
There's either going to be a very small old lady with a metal leg or a wooden leg, because kitchen utensil is not going to grow like 3 foot, is it? Without being really, really thin. Yeah, but this is where I said about like Adam and Eve. You know, God took one of Adam's ribs out and created Eve, who just so happens to be, if she was made out of this rib, she would only be about 2 inches tall. You know, you make a leg out of, say, a metal spoon. We'll go with my pasta. That has got to be stretched twice as long to make a wooden leg. A leg.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, is it? So that lady has got to be really small in the first place. So straight away, the alarm bells are going to ring, because you're going to go, hang on a minute, my mother's not 2 foot tall.
But either way, if some little old lady comes out and goes, "Senor, dreaded shrimp," they smell a bit off. Are they a bit off? No, senor, my special recipe.
Yes,
behind you.
No, senor, that's the sauce.
Is your bottom sore? Is it strange smell coming from the back there? Right. Your butthole's really itchy. Okay, well, I'm going to get some shrimp.
You've got any prawns in the fridge?
Terry, it's all right. Terry said, really, it's the same Christian phase, the sins of the fathers delivered to their sons, which is right about Cambodia. Yep. And then she said about wooden leg. I've actually got a metal leg, and my metal leg looks like R2-D2 from Star Wars. But this, what's her name? Latunda? Yeah, Latunda. Apparently, she's got a metal leg that's made out of a kitchen implement, and then farts on shrimps that she gives you, and the farted shrimps knock you out.
But the thing is, if we were to take your leg and turn it into a kitchen utensil, we could probably get about 7 or 8 utensils out of one leg. So if you reverse it,
I'd be a bit pissed off if you did that. I'd be hopping mad.
I'd be going, yeah, great. I've got an R2-D2 spoon. In fact, I've got 7 if anybody wants to buy one. But if you reverse it the other way round, one spoon is not going to make one leg.
Yeah, but did she maybe make it from a massive piece of wood? Like it's just a massive spoon? Are we seeing it the wrong way?
No, you're seeing it the wrong way. She took a kitchen utensil and turned it into a leg.
It's whatever a molinillo. A molinillo is the kitchen implement that they use, that it's her legs made out of.
And that's pretty huge.
MOLINILLO. A monilino.
A monilino. It'll be interesting to see how tall one of those is.
If anything happens tonight with Taylor, if she looks pale or wobbly, she's been put on beta blockers because he's making her blood pressure go through the roof. Right, hang on. Are you going to focus on this?
A bit closer.
It does want.
There you go. That's a molinino.
That looks like a butt plug.
Maybe it is. It's used for.
And other sponsors of the show.
It's a traditional chocolate whisk, so maybe it is a butt plug.
Oh Christ! You see, with this show, this is the old Dark Mirror show of old. Lots of double entendres and innuendos.
So we're going to go from aliens to butt plugs.
We're going to give aliens a little bit of a rest for a while.
They're 13.5 inches long.
Oh, misses.
Just over a foot.
Well, it would have to have a foot on it, wouldn't it?
Well, no, I think from shin to foot, from knee to foot would probably be about 1.5 to 2 feet, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If they made a film about this Latunda from shin to foot, and they made a film about her in the Second World War helping people escape the Nazi camps, would it be Schindler's List? Anyway.
As long as they didn't transport them to Cambodia, they'd be all right.
As Terry's just said, in those traditions, they love a zombie, Tales of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Have you seen Eastern zombies? They're hilarious. They're like that, and they hop, and you can stop them by sticking a prayer to the head written on a piece of paper. Have you ever watched any of the martial arts films, like horror films, and you see the zombies going, and they go whooping and stick a. No, is it vampires or zombies?
Okay.
Vampires. and they stick a prayer on a piece of paper to their head, and they literally just stop going, and that's it.
They're called like bunny.
They're called the hopping ghosts or something. But anyway, there's another one. This one's a bit darker than the farting shrimp lady.
Oh no. Oh no.
See, that just brings so many things, conjures so many things to mind. The farting shrimp lady.
Definitely.
We're not going to go there. All I'll say is sponsored by Fem Fresh. El Silbon.
Hang on, whoa. Did you say Fem Fresh or Creme Fresh?
Creme Fresh, not creme fresh. Oh God, splat some of that on there, mate. I'll clear it up for a while. Live yogurt.
Well, apparently Creme Fresh too's a lot of sauce down below.
Well, I must admit, your missus said your balls have cleared up amazingly well. El Silbon. The Whistler, El Silbon. Apparently, this is a truly disturbing legend, which from the eastern plains bordering Venezuela. Now, the story goes that El Silbon was a wicked young man who killed his father when he was in a really angry rage. When he didn't bring home the deer heart he was craving. So his dad had gone out.
We've all been there.
His dad had gone out hunting, and he wanted his dad to bring down the deer heart for him to eat, and he didn't. So he lost the plot and killed his dad. He brought back his father's organs. Hang on, he brought back his father's organs instead, but the family suspected his evil act. His brother punished the evil man by whipping him and throwing hot pepper on the wounds. Ouch! Whipping him and then throwing hot peppers into the wounds. Ooh. You need some yogurt for that, wouldn't you? Creme fresh. And then he set an angry dog after him to continue the punishment. So now El Silbon is a creepy 6 meters tall, that's 18 foot, gaunt figure who haunts the Llanos at night, carrying a large bag of bones said to be his father's. You know when he's around by his haunting whistle, which sounds distant when he is near, and when he is near, sounds far away. And if he's near,
you said that wrong. You said distant when he's near, and when he's near, it sounds far
sounds
away.
distant when he is near, and when he is
far away, it sounds close. Is what you meant to say.
When he is near, his whistling sounds distant.
Yes, and then you're supposed to say, but when he's far away, it sounds close. You said it's distant when he's near, and when he's near, it sounds far away. That's the same thing. You meant to say it's distant when he's near, and far away when he's.
Oh, you'll have a cup of tea now, won't you?
Yeah, you said it wrong.
Basically, Taylor, basically, you said the same thing you have, but just in a different way.
Yeah, no, but he said it. So it sounds distant when he's near, and when he's distant, it sounds near.
Yes,
is what he meant to say.
Yes. We got there eventually. He picks. That makes no sense. He picks a home. Oh, he picks a home's doorstep to stop and count his bones. And if you don't listen, someone in the household will die at sunrise. So basically, if you hear somebody empty a load of bones onto your doorstep and start counting, you better listen. Pay attention. Most sightings of interestingly, most sightings of El Silbon are by drunk men stumbling around at night. Apparently, this El Silbon fears a whip, hot peppers, and a rabid dog. So basically, if I ever went over there on holiday, I'd have to smuggle in customs in a very small bag a whip, some hot pepper, and my ex.
Yeah, don't forget some potted shrimp.
Oh yeah, can't forget the shrimp.
Because obviously you've got potted shrimp lady, and then you've got cannibalistic barbecuer.
No wonder they eat a lot of creme fraiche. I'm trying to find if it's something interestingly enough to end on. Oh, here's a weird one. No, I'm not going to sing a Christmas song. We're going to do the Christmas show next week.
The week after that is Christmas Day. Yes.
So next week's show is the last one of the year, and we'll start again on I think it's the 8th of January. Right, last one is the legend of the pink dolphins. I don't know if you've ever seen them. The pink dolphins are in the Amazon.
Oh yeah.
El hombre bufeo or bufeo or el hombre bufeo. Pink dolphin of the Colombian Amazonas. The indigenous myth goes that a strong, handsome warrior was condemned to become a pink dolphin by the dogs, who were jealous of his good looks. However, he has the ability to convert into a man when he comes out onto dry land, and he puts a straw hat on his head, covering his only giveaway, which is the blowhole. He is said to be a smooth operator, and no woman can resist his charms. So he chooses a beautiful lady, he dances the night away, she smashes her phone, and then he takes her for a romantic walk along the riverbank. Sounds like a nice date? Wrong. The next day, the woman remembers nothing, but within no time, she finds herself pregnant. And apparently, and this is real, many children without known fathers in the Amazon actually have Dolphin Man registered as their father on the official records. So SpongeBob and Patrick are just getting rude these days.
That's quite different than any, because normally on death certificates, if anybody's dying of anything, they're all dying of COVID. So you've got fatherless children having their dad as Dolphin Man on their birth certificates.
What if their mum is Shrimp Lady?
And people dying of decapitation and dying of COVID on their death certificate. So that's quite a good one, isn't it? What a lovely world we're living in.
The world's gone cracked. I'm just wondering what's going to chuck at us next year. I really am. But well, it can only get better. Things can only get better. Finley might be here next week. Finley might be here next week.
I don't know. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, there's now this. It seems to me that there are a lot more of the UFO and alien business is starting to pick up again, isn't it? With that Israeli science guy.
Yes, and there's been a lot more sightings as well. Regular
and saying that something's going on, and Trump knew all about it, and all of this.
Wasn't he? And then he was stopped at the last minute.
Yeah, it's just that they don't want to do anything at the moment because they don't think we're ready.
We are ready, Trump. If your toupee's ready, get it to speak up and say. Just say he still is at the moment.
He's not out of the White House until January. Is it January? Yeah. At the moment, Biden is still president-elect.
Yes.
So Biden can't really do anything apart from rattle his gums. Trump has still got the power at the moment.
I really hope. I mean, there's been a few of them that said if they get elected, they will find out about it and bring it up. I mean, all this.
Didn't Hillary Clinton say?
Yeah. I think maybe 30 years ago, maybe even 20 years ago, we may not have been ready. But I think now everybody's just like, we bloody know there is. Get on with it. Apart from the Bible Belt, the Pope said there are. Even the Pope has turned around and said,
"Yeah,
people out there on different planets." So
I mean, I was watching a thing about UFO. I can't remember what it was called, UFO hunters. It's on Amazon Prime anyway, and they were at Area 51, and they'd been. I think it was something like 5 hours. They'd been sitting 5 miles within the perimeter fence.
Were they buzzed by a jet and then a helicopter?
No. This pickup turned up, and the security officer turned around and she said, "We've been watching you. You're in the wrong place. You need to be 5 miles back that way." And they went, "Oh, right." And then she proceeded to tell them that they had been taking pictures and videos of them two walking around in the desert, just looking at various bits and bobs on the floor. And she openly admitted that they had zoomed in on her face, this lady's face. And she said, "Where was I? Where were we standing?" She said, "Well, you were over there." She went, "Right. And where were you?" She said, "I was up on top of that hill." And the bloke just turned around and said, "You've got a camera that can zoom that far." She said this security official actually admitted to being near enough able to see up the woman's nose. And yet she was about 4 or 5 miles at the top of this hill.
Yeah.
So, of course, that raised the question about the technology they've been using and where the hell they got that technology from.
Well, look at those cameras that are out now. Is it a Nikon one that can literally zoom in onto the surface of the moon?
Yeah, there is. But then when you look at the satellites that Google used to do Google Earth, You know, when you can zoom right into someone's back garden from space.
Yeah.
You know, the ability is there, but to put it onto a smaller scale like a mobile phone or a normal standard camera, you've got to get that technology and you've got to be able to shrink it. And if you can't shrink it, you haven't got that power there.
That's what I've been saying about my penis for all these years. All that might and majesty has to be put in a fun-sized portion.
Yes, it does. It's like a lot of things. I mean, I don't know whether you saw the test for the Starship.
Yes. Yeah.
And everybody's going, well, how can that be a success? It blew up when it landed.
They had all the readings and it self-righted and almost.
It was a success because it went 15 kilometers up in the air. It turned. It went flat. It then came down again. It then turned back the right way, and it tried to land without blowing up, but the burn started too late.
Yeah.
So it was still going at a nominal speed that enabled it to hit the ground and blow up. But the answers were there. So when they build the next one, that won't happen again because they'll be able to correct what they were doing.
I think, quite frankly, we're all ready for it. We all know that there's something out there. We're not stupid and we're not sheep anymore. And this drip feeding is ridiculous. I just need to go, yeah, right. And then we can go, we know.
Yeah, we've known all along. We know you've been covering it up.
Cry. There'll be a mass cry New Year's Day. Everybody at the same time goes, aliens, like that. And I'll go, yes.
But it's things like, and I've had this like for the last 2 days on a couple of groups on Facebook. We've got a guy on there. He is constantly posting videos of what he is saying, orbs. Right. Now, obviously, you know, and so do most experienced paranormal investigators know, that orbs now, the majority of orbs are either dust, water droplets, vapor, bugs,
pollen,
all sorts, apart from the paranormal. It is probably like less than 1% would be paranormal. And the only reason why it would be was because it could be an odd shape. It could be moving erratically compared to all the other particles in the air. Could be flashing different colors. But this guy, 1,280 videos he's got of so-called orbs. And when we try to sort of not criticize him and have a go at him, we try to give a bit of constructive criticism and say to him, you know, look into the subject of orbs. Don't just film something and that's gone zooming past your camera and immediately say it's paranormal. Look at it, analyze it, and see what you think. You will find that it's not paranormal. And all of a sudden he went on the defensive, started having a go at everybody and then spamming his own post with more and more videos. And I said to him, if you want credibility and you want people to acknowledge that you've recorded a good video, study the subject of the orbs, because then half your videos won't see the light of day because you will have disproved them.
Well, it's like me with the alien stuff. You know, I look at a lot of stuff and I belong to a lot of things. I'm not daft. Most of the videos I see, they're explainable. You can explain them away. But it's the same with paranormal stuff. Most of it you can explain, but there's that 0.01% that makes you go, ooh.
Exactly.
The best video I've seen recently, I don't know if you've seen it or not, it was in America, and it was at a wedding reception at somebody's house. And the guy was in the backyard filming, and then somebody said to him, "Oh, what's that up there?" And he's gone, "Oh," he's filming it. And there's this series of lights which you can see are on the same, I'll say, ship, because the thing's massive. It's stratosphere, I think, and you can see these lights going on for.
Is that the one that you showed me?
Yeah, it's about a mile and a half long, and he's filming it. You can see it move, and it's all moving, same speed, same time, and even when they've gone like that, it's all at the same time, you know. And you can see it's all after the same thing, and they're all going, "What the is that?" And it was one of the rare videos that I go, "Aliens." Might not have been aliens, could be something we've got.
I mean, the majority of videos, like with the UFOs and that, you can look at it and you can go, yeah, okay, that's photoshopped, that's CGI.
Or,
you know, you can literally pull it apart.
Yeah.
You know, And the problem is like I say, with this guy and his orb videos, most of them were all dust. And one video, he called it Paranormal Injustice. And he actually named someone on there who had, I wouldn't say had a go at it. They gave a bit of criticism that he didn't like. And he got quite nasty with them and started shouting while he was recording about this person.
Criticism and use it, you know.
Exactly. But this is the thing. He couldn't take the criticism because every time someone gave him that criticism, he would bounce back with more and more videos trying to prove his point that what he was recording was dust. Wasn't dust. But in this video, Paranormal Injustice, he actually says, you know, he's fed up with people bullying him because of his videos and everything else. And I just said to him, you know, if you study the subject a bit more, you will find that most of your videos are dust, bugs, water droplets, etc. I said, look through them, study them, and if they're nothing, because that's what they fall into, you don't post them. It's simple. Then you wouldn't get criticised, and you'd get more credibility for what you're doing. So, but you're not. You're pushing this video out there. You're having a go at people because they don't believe you, or because they tell you that it's dust or a bug. But in this video, he's in a dark room for a study, or his bedroom, or something. He's sitting in bed or in his living room in the dark. Now he starts his phone, and the first thing he does is he puts his flash on his phone. So his flash is shining out into the living room or the bedroom.
Yeah.
And he's picking up all the dust particles because he's laying on a fabric bed.
Yeah.
So all these particles are flying up in the air, and as he's shouting, you see this all come up. And he goes, oh, thank you for coming here, my friend. Can you come a bit closer? And it just floats off screen. Then another one comes up from underneath the screen and goes, oh, you're back again, are you? He's talking to it like it's the first one that went past.
See, that brings to mind Little Britain Fighters Club.
Anybody?
Anybody?
Yeah, it was. I mean, for him to, even if it was a spirit, that spirit moved bloody quick from going out the top right-hand corner of his screen to go right the way round and underneath and then come back up from the bottom left-hand of the screen. Well, it doesn't make sense, and you don't give yourself any credibility. And then he just goes down there, like, oh, you're all bullying me, I'm leaving the group.
Don't even get me started on cyberbullying. You know, there's one person in particular who's very good at that. Anyway,
there is no bullying. It's just you can't handle criticism.
Before we disappear, one thing, when this show first started nearly 4 years ago now, we had people, because it wasn't in this format, people like saying, oh, it's boring, long-winded, blah 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 blah. So I said, right, sod it, I'm going to be me, and I've been me ever since. And then the people who watch it like it because they've changed their minds, and they're like, oh my god, what's the matter? You know, you have a laugh and a joke, and you don't give a monkeys, and it's like, just because it's just done for fun.
But it's not a case of
serious.
It's not a case of we don't give a monkeys. It's more of a case of when you do things in a certain way, you set yourself the ambitions of what you want to do. So you stick to that target. But sometimes it's better off to just be yourself and not have those barriers and restraints. If you just release yourself and just go for it and let things flow as you would do as if you were a couple of people talking to each other over a cup of coffee, that creates that more human touch to it.
Well, the last time I released myself, I got arrested and told never to go on Debenhams again. So, yeah, I closed them down now. It's probably because I released myself. They never got it out of fabric. Yeah, and on that note, it is 10 past 10.
Say bye-bye, Obi.
Oh, Obi can say goodbye. Say young puggles.
Bye-bye.
No, you popped your head in as well. We've got the puggles and we have got the catto. So, we're getting a couple of kittens in the new to rescue cats. So,
before we go, a little reminder to people: Wayne Seaton presents Spookinori on Facebook live on Christmas Eve at 10 o'clock. Live reading of Cricket, my latest ghost story, if it's finished in time. Still only 21,000 words away from completion.
Only.
Yeah, I managed.
You can do that in one of these shows, mate.
Lilo.
Yeah.
Lilo. Dad.
I managed to do 1,000 words today, so I'm getting there.
Let me know when it's. Give me a bit more thing on it, and I'll post it up on all the stuff as well.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that by next weekend it will be completed, and I will be putting it up for sale on Amazon straight away or through myself, and then the live reading will be on Christmas Eve. So.
Is it the same deal through yourself? You get it signed, but through Amazon, it's not.
Correct.
Well, we'll have to have another one to go with the set.
There also is. I'm doing a lovely special offer now. That obviously at the moment there's only 2 books released, but if you buy both books, you get a lovely Spookanori bookmark, nice trademark bookmark. So any of the 2 books, you get the bookmark to go with it. So
I didn't get a bloody bookmark.
You will get one the next time you come down here. Because the problem was they hadn't arrived when you were here last.
And on that note, I'm going to say bye-bye, and we'll see you next week for the Christmas edition, which is going to be a Christmas show with rather risque questions.
But the day before Christmas, go over to watch Spookanori.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
I'll post a link up for it on here and on my Facebook as well. I'll even tweet it.
Yeah, they have to request to join the group, which myself or Mrs. Wayne will accept you into.
Mrs. Wayne has a name.
His name is Bruce.
Yeah. It's Ellen.
It is Ellen.
It's Bruce. It's Bruce Wayne. They've got the Batcave. So, well, I've heard him mention the Batcave. I'm not sure what he's talking about, but anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll be either myself, or Ellen will let people in. And then obviously if you set your notifications, you'll get the notification when it goes live.
Okay. Well, on that note, I shall say to all of you lovely people, thank you for watching, and we'll see you for the end of the year one next week.
End of the year one next week. We're not going to do a New Year's. No, can't do one on New Year's Eve. No.
Yeah.
We're not doing a New Year's Eve one because I'm busy with Jean-Michel Jarre that night. So I'm sorry, can't be done.
I told you. Anyway, I shall see you all next week for the Christmas show. So on that note, we'll leave you to those wild, rampant images of Mr. Wayne and Jean-Michel Jarre being rampant. Bye-bye, everybody.
Good night, everybody.